Good to go.
Okay. Who's he? We have people here for the first one, right?
Yep. We have Alan and Tracy Fisterra for application number 1. I'm going to be bringing them in.
You hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Come on, Alan.
I can put my video on too if you want video.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever's good for you.
Do it all day during work, so
Yeah.
I think we all do now.
Yeah. Need your name and address for the record.
Sure, it's Alan Pfister. The address is 28 Gladys Street, Lindenhurst, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 16th, 2021. Environmental control memo dated February 16th, 2001. To approve this application will not result in a significant impact. A survey by Michael Scalise dated November 19th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map.
And 4 photographs, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. Have a deck on the rear of the house that was added a number of years ago, and we're selling the house. Actually, the closing date is this Monday, the 22nd. So we're looking to get that deck legalized, variance, and certificate of occupancy complete with the sale.
Okay, so that's the only reason you're here is for that deck that's been there for a number of years.
It's been there for a number of years, yes.
Okay. Did you put the deck on or?
Neighbor did it.
Okay. And this is on the back of the house, right? Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, so there's no impact. Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for 1 week, just if anybody has any other comments to, because we're doing this on Zoom meetings, all right?
Okay.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right. I have Roxanne for number 2.
Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Okay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Roxanne Trella, Dynamic Expediting with offices at 1040 Terry Road, Ronkonkoma, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, I have a planning division memo dated February 16th, 2021. Environmental control memo dated February 16th, 2021. Approve this application will not result in significant impact. I have a survey by William Simmons dated February 18th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map and
Tax map acting as an area map and 2 photographs and floor plans by Dynamic Permits dated October 14th, 2020.
Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, Mr. Canales had started this process in 2016 when we legalized a couple of other structures for him. And for some reason, the roof over patio was inadvertently left off of that permit and subsequent CO. So he's here now. It did need a variance. It's 11.8 feet on the side yard instead of the 15 feet required. It is in line with the dwelling. It does not protrude anymore into the side yard. And I did have a chance to go over planning's memo with him, and he did agree not to ever enclose it as a condition of his subsequent approval.
Okay. Thank you. I'll turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Sorry about that, guys.
Which one is go? It
Char-
will. I
Charnice.
don't,
She just, yeah, she's off. She got bumped off or logged off.
yeah, she's off.
I just got Dolores in though.
Okay. Good trade-off. All right, let's go back to this application. I'll handle it for a moment. So you're only asking for that side yard from 15 to 11.8, and the reason for that is it's in an A zone, so you need a 15-foot side yard, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Everything else was legalized already?
Yes, and he does have his CO already.
Okay. So is he looking to sell the house at this point? Is that why he's legalizing all of this, or?
No, he just wanted to come into compliance.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Yes, refreshing.
Refreshing is a good word. Okay, I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we're gonna close the hearing, reserve decision, but we're gonna keep the record open for 1 week in case there are any further comments from anybody, because we're doing this on Zoom meetings now, so, all right?
Okay, not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. We have Steve Bolello, the representative for application number 3. We'll be bringing him in. Steve. Steve, you there?
He's on mute. Hello?
There he goes.
They, he's still, looks like he's still on mute.
Should be good.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Okay. All right, I need your name and address for the record.
Okay. My name is Steve Bolello. My address is 1 Fieldhouse Avenue in East Setauket, New York, 11733.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay. For the record, I have a planning division memo dated September 28th, 2020. Environmental control memo dated February 16th, 2021. If approved, this application will not result in a significant impact. And I'm guessing September 28th. Oh, this is an older application, right, from 2020.
Yeah, it was originally, I believe it was originally scheduled to be heard earlier.
Yeah, I thought I read it wrong, and then I.
Yeah,
We have a survey by Andrew Miller dated February 25th, 2020, tax map acting as an area map,
and 7 photographs, Mr. Chairman, and floor plans dated April 9th, 2020 by JAM Designs.
okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
Well, most of these things were existing, other than the back dormer that was stood up. And that was so many years ago, I can't even tell you, maybe 20, 25 years. Other than that, the house, the footprint was there when the home was built. I know the original owners were the Ferrignos, and they bought the home. So I'm a little off on why this house was placed where it was, but it's always been that way. Also, there's a shed off the back of the house, overhang that was added, and otherwise everything else is the way the home was originally built.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough. Ms. McCullough.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what brings you in to legalize the awning today?
The owner was selling the property.
Okay. So there was no complaints on this property? You're just looking to sell?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you agree that the rear awning not be further enclosed Do you agree to the condition that the awning not be further enclosed?
Absolutely.
And if the shed is ever replaced, it's placed in a conforming location?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for 1 week, just in case there are further comments. Thanks for coming, and
Thank you.
we'll get it in the mail, okay?
Thank you very much, Chairman. Board.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Brian.
I have William and Denise Slane for application number 4. I'm gonna bring them in. Hey, Bill, you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how are you? We need your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, William Slane, 37 Birch Avenue East, Farmingdale.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes,
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 16th, 2021. Environmental control memo dated February 16th, 2021. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Frank Farantello dated October 9th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map, and
And 4 photographs, Mr. Chairman, and floor plans by Angela Mangles dated August 20th, 2020.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
yes, sir. I want to bump out the front door, create a small vegetable foyer, and construct a covered front porch.
Okay. So that's the only thing you're doing here, right?
Yes, sir.
So the south side has a 4.7. I guess that always existed at 4.7.
Yeah, yes, sir. I think it was 4.9, but it should still be 4.9. I don't,
Yeah.
Sir, I believe it is on a slight angle. There's a 4.9 portion and a 4.7.
oh,
Yeah, the front, looks like the front portion. Yeah, the front portion is 4.7 and the back is 4.9. So
oh,
that's,
okay.
it's always the shorter distance. So
Okay.
but it always existed like that. That's not something.
No, it was always there. It was always there. Yes, sir.
Okay. And so, all right, so you're putting a front porch. Would you agree to a condition that the front porch not be enclosed?
It's not going to be enclosed.
Okay, you agree to that then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application?
No, Mr. Chairman.
For the record, there are none. Okay, so we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for 1 week in case there are any further comments from anybody else in the neighborhood or anything like that, and you'll get the decision in the mail.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good luck.
Have a good night, everybody.
So,
Night.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I am bringing in Miss Blanda for application number 5.
Hi, everybody. Good evening.
Hello, Nicole.
Evening.
okay. Name and address for the record.
Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 16th, 2021. Environmental control memo dated February 17th, 2021. Should have gotten a copy of this, limit single family use, preserve vegetation, that kind of thing.
I have the planning memo. I don't have the DEC memo.
Okay, so the DEC memo said that's, their conditions are limited to single family use, which I believe is probably on the covenants and restrictions already, and preserve natural vegetation to the greatest extent practicable. any trees removed must be by people for longhorn beetles, you know, that kind of thing.
All that good stuff. Yes.
All that good stuff, yes. We have a survey by William Simmons dated November 4th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map. And we also have what I counted as 8 other approvals in the area that you submitted, I believe.
I believe there were 9, but maybe it's 8.
Okay. I might have miscounted. I counted 8, but that's fine.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
May I screen share?
Sure.
All right. No, that's wrong. Okay. So this is a radius map that I put dots on for prior approvals on 50 footers in this area. You can see the red circle represents a 200-foot radius. So the X's are 50 by 100 foot parcels, and then the dots represent prior approvals, just for the board's edification. So I'm here tonight on this parcel on the southwest corner of Washington and North 27th, right where my little arrow is. It's in yellow. It's a 50 by 100 foot parcel in the Residence B zone, and we're seeking variances to construct a 2-story single family dwelling with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. The variances that we're seeking are substantially similar, if not the same, as some of these prior approvals. So for example, immediately to the west of us, 25.1, which I'm pointing to right now, we had variances on that one for 50 feet, 5,000 square feet, east side yard, total side yards, similar to what we're asking. So we're asking to go from 80 feet to 50 feet, 10,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet. A front yard setback, which is a secondary front yard setback on North 27th Street. We're requesting, and I'm going to switch over to my survey now if I can. Let's see if I can get to that. And if someone in my family doesn't come get my dog, I'm going to kill someone tonight. God forbid I should be able to work in peace. All right, so we have a secondary front yard over here. We're requesting a setback from 30 feet to 15 feet. And we have a similar prior approval on this corner. Tax lot 13 was actually approved with a secondary front yard of 12 feet. Building area went slightly over on that one. Again, it was a 50 by 100 foot parcel, 5,000 square feet. The east side yard setback was reduced to 8 feet. So, I mean, basically my point is that these houses in this area are substantially similar, if not the same, on the same size parcels and the same size. So this is our lot right now that I'm showing you, this vacant parcel. And then if we go down Washington Avenue, these were all approved. Now, what you will notice is that these homes don't have garages. But based on recent comments on other applications that we've done in the town requesting garages, my client is proposing a home with a garage. And so this is a rendering. The photo isn't that great. I did the best I could with my scanning, but we do have a proposed garage. So the variances that we're requesting again is frontage, square feet lot area, front yard on North 27th, the west side yard reducing from 12 to 10, the rear yard reducing from 25 to 23. That's to accommodate our septic. We need to be 5 feet away from this leaching pool, so that's why the house is set this way. And since we are putting an internal garage, we wanted to give the family as much living space as possible. And we're also requesting to go over the allowed building area by 2.4%, which again is in line with the other approvals that I've submitted in the packet and that I've kind of explained through the area map. It would be single family, owner occupied, no accessory apartments. All the other covenants and restrictions that are listed in this memo, I believe there's 13 of them, we would comply with. So if the board has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So this is pretty much standard, what's being done on these 50 footers. The house is pretty much standard, except this one is going to have a garage as opposed to some of the other ones that had approvals.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And you agree to all the covenants and restrictions and conditions on the planning memo, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be?
I have a question.
Go ahead, John. Go ahead, Dave.
So we have Residence B, and the homes that are being built today are bigger than Residence B calls for. Is that because I see all those X's on that map? It looks like it's a set pattern.
Correct. That's how, so on Washington in particular, and then on North 28th, the way that the tax lots were carved out as 50 footers, they were then developed with homes. And over the years, I would say over the past, 10 to 15 years, that's how the area has come up. They've come up, developed with 2-story homes like I showed.
I mean, what is this is not for you, council, but I guess for planning, like what is the point of Residence B if it doesn't mean anything?
If you're asking me, I would refer to the people that put the zoning code together on this area in 1954, realistically.
But the community doesn't object when we make these changes, right? So maybe it's just
Ah.
it should be.
There is a neighbor looking to speak as well, but
I mean, if I may also jump in, part of it is so when the maps get filed, so this particular map was filed back in 1907, different size tax lots are carved out on the filed map. So over the years, you have people who own these parcels as 50 by 100s. And so then they come in to pull a permit, but they're stuck with the zoning as it is, and they come and then they request variance relief. So it's part of what I think you're getting at is why would you have a zone like this in an area that was mapped out this way? I can't necessarily answer that, but I can say that it was mapped out in a certain way. So you don't have owners owning 80 by 100s or 100 by 100s. More often you're seeing these 50s or 75s.
Right. And I guess at one time people contemplated smaller houses for smaller lots, and times have changed and tastes have changed and the market
Yes.
has changed, but the zoning hasn't changed. So that's.
Yeah, this probably shouldn't really be a B zone is what it comes down to. I mean, these lots, you just can't handle it. I mean, this is what I would say is a fairly reasonable sized house. I don't know how, you make it that much smaller on a B, but that's the problem.
Right. It was made narrow for a reason. Yeah. It's more of a deeper house than it is wide.
Yeah, I mean, need to change the code.
I could try.
Okay, any other questions from the board? I think I asked that. And we have somebody that wants to be heard, right, Brian?
yep, Miss Alexandra, give me a second.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, how you doing? You're on.
Oh, thank you so much. So I just have a couple of questions. I currently live on 176 Washington Avenue. Obviously, this is 174 Washington Avenue. I'm working from home. I have very simple questions as to whenever this, gets approved. We're talking about when are they thinking to start building, cleaning up? Because as you can see in the picture that the lawyer, show you guys, is a lot of trees going to my property, obviously. So that's going to be cleaned up. So I just want to have an idea on dates that this is going to be happening. Because again, I'm actually working from home. So this is going to be quite loud, I'm imagining. Also, there's, electricity and cable and all that's right next to it. So just trying to figure out how that's going to work out. I know it's a lot of questions. I just want to have an idea what's going on with that.
Okay, we'll ask the applicant. We'll bring her back in and we'll ask the applicant, and she can answer these questions and when,
Thank
she's going to start
Thank
building and stuff like that. And do you affirm do you affirm everything that you just told me was the truth?
Right, yeah, because absolutely, yeah. It's just,
Okay.
'cause, again, just trying to see based on the picture that she shared. I'm just trying to understand how it's a very small property. So obviously the cleanup, the construction is right next to me. My driveway is right there. Am I going to have to move my cars? I mean, questions that just keep popping up in my head because it's literally 200 feet from my property. So
Understood. Okay, and we'll bring Ms. Blander back in to answer that. You have any other questions that we want, like to have answered?
Let me see. Yeah, that's it. If like also if there are any, obviously when they start building, are we talking about, if, let's say, God forbid, any damages? Like, who do I contact? I'm just trying to make sure I have all this in my mind just in case.
Okay, absolutely. Those are good questions. So, okay, let me get Ms. Bland to answer those questions for you.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Sure. So what I would suggest, if it's okay with the board, is the applicant is Rich Ralph. He's a known builder in the town. The property owner is listed on the application as well. That's the trust. So what I would suggest is I could have him leave. This is 176 Washington, I believe she said. He could leave his contact info in her mailbox, because he would be the builder and could explain to her how all the construction aspects would work out, and, you know, noise and where cars would be parked and things like that. As far as timeframes, I mean, really it would be, obviously the board has to wait a week, then presuming the board approves it, then we would move forward to building permit. There's some, I believe he's got to still get his permit out from the health department. I'm not sure how long that would take. So I would think he would hope to be shoveling the ground by spring. Maybe April, end of March, April. It depends how quickly a permit gets kicked out.
Okay.
But certainly, I'm sure he'd have no problem making contact with this particular resident and explaining things to her.
That'd be great. I think that would be very helpful. Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's just, again, I just want to make sure any questions that come up, again, if he needs me to do anything, like, you know, I'll just keep my eye open for that. Because again, I'm working from home, so I'm constantly on conference calls as well on Zoom. So I just want to make sure it's not going to be too crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So he'll leave his information. This way you guys can hook up, and you know, he'll tell you exactly when and where and how it's all going to happen and things like that. And this way you have a contact if there are problems at all.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
We have anybody else, Brian, or is that it?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for 1 week for any further comments. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, Mr. Chairman, for the last application, we have a number of representatives. We're bringing in people from a model law firm, Stonefield Engineering, and 7-Eleven.
Good evening.
Good evening. Need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Greg Alvarez from Amato Law Group, 666 Old Country Road, Garden City, New York, here on behalf of the applicant 7-Eleven. Hi there. We have a few other folks here to answer questions, but I'll just try to run through everything first, and then I'll open it up to any questions if there's anything that may be of interest. So,
okay. Let me just read the stuff into the record, then you can go, okay?
Sure, no problem.
We have a planning memo dated February 16th, 2021. Environmental control memo dated February 16th, 2021. If we were to approve this, it would need a negative declaration. Suffolk County planning memo dated February 16th, 2021. Decision of local determination, take no position for or against. A survey by Thomas Miller, last dated June 8th, 2020. A site plan by Zachary Chaplin, last dated September 2nd, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map. And
3 photographs, Mr. Chairman.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
Okay, great. So this evening we're seeking two types of relief. The first is a special exception to permit retail use in the underlying zoning, which is industrial G, and that's pursuant to 213-166F. The second is an area variance for the front yard. We're asking for additional front yard, actually. We're asking for more than what is designated under the code at 213-169. The property is located at 1580 Broad Hollow Road in Farmingdale, District 100, Section 34, Block 1, Lot 14.4. The process itself goes back to March of 2019 when we started our site plan application with the Planning Division. We went through our comment period with them, worked through a number of things, and I'll mention a couple of those as we review the application here. And we were set to go in front of them in December of 2019. Right before then, DOT stepped in because we're along Route 110 and Conklin Street. So they wanted to take a closer look at the access. So we halted, we went through with them to make sure that the access was satisfactory to both DOT and the town. Once we got that straightened out, we did appear before the planning board last August 31st of 2020, at which point the planning board did grant our site plan application for the project. After that, we filed with this board on October 9th of 2020 and proceeded to this hearing today. The one thing that did change from our initial application to this board, we had originally asked for signage variance relief for one of the wall signs. In discussions with planning, we went back and forth again, and we were able to actually eliminate that variance. So now we're just asking for the two types of relief. The property itself, it's on the northwest corner of Route 110 and Conklin Street in Farmingdale.
We lost you.
Greg, you got muted by accident.
Yep, sorry about that. Right now, we are, or the property is vacant. It's been vacant for several years now. It used to be the Spartan Diner. It was approximately a 4,000 square foot building. And as you're seeing here, these are some photos of the existing conditions that are out there today. The surrounding area is primarily commercial, and there are other retail uses. Across the way, there's an Exxon gas station, and then to the southeast is the movie theater, and beyond that, a shopping center. So it's an area that obviously it's Route 110, so it has an established retail corridor that's there. So we're looking to improve the site, and Gabrielle is handling the screen here. Just tell me if you need a minute to reboot there. Okay, so yeah, so here, see, these are some of the other photos that are out there today. It's been vacant for quite, oh, we lost it again there. It's been vacant for quite some time. Why don't we just jump over to the architecturals at this point? Yeah, you can see the building that's out there today. All right, so so in terms of the proposed construction, we're going to remove the existing building, and we're going to construct a smaller building. It'll bump down to 3,329 square feet. It'll be located sort of in the central portion of the property. And we do have some architecturals that we did submit as part of the submission. I don't know if we can share those now.
Sorry. Oh, I'm going to share it now. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Did the site photos come up?
They did.
Okay.
They did. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're looking at the site plan here. So you can see the location of where the building is. It sort of has a slight L shape to it. That was part of our review with planning to try to orient it in the middle of the property. Just a couple of notes about the site plan and all the work we've done with planning to make sure that it's the best site plan that can be located here. The parking is compliant. So 17 parking spaces are required, 22 parking spaces are actually provided. And if you can see right there, there are 5 spaces that are extended spaces that sort of have the hatched area on the left side of the proposed building. Those are actually designed for landscapers and other people who will be frequenting the store that may have longer and larger vehicles that would come to the site, but they would be able to be accommodated on the site. So that was part of the site plan process as well. There are 2 loading spaces as well, one in front of the trash enclosure that's just immediately to the left of the proposed building. And then there's another one out in front along the frontage of Conklin Street for trucks to be located as well. And all of this had been vetted with the planning division. Another major component of the application is that 30% of the property will actually be landscaped. That's a substantial improvement over what's out there today. And so again, that was in close consultation with planning to make sure that we can make the site as green as possible. The curb cuts, as I mentioned, have been worked out with the DOT. They're both right in and right out to limit ins and outs for maximum access management. And that'll be at both of the driveways that are shown on the site plan. So in terms of the relief that we're asking for, the front yard setback, I think this is how the town has interpreted 213-169A, which is that you have to be no more or no less than 10 feet. And so we're seeking that variance here, even though we're providing, as you can see, a substantial front yard setback. It's 49.4 feet from Route 110 to the building and 81 feet from Conklin Street. So we feel that we can meet the criteria under the town law 267B3, which is the balancing test and the criteria that must be met to show that there won't be any detrimental impacts caused by this. And in fact, we think it'll actually be a benefit to the operation of the site. As for the special exception, it's for the use. As I mentioned, it's in the industrial G zoning district, which requires a special permit for retail uses. The area surrounding the property actually is also zoned industrial G, and there are other retail uses, as I mentioned, in the immediate area along this corridor. So it would seem to be in keeping with the area and also consistent with the zoning plan for the area as well. So that's why we also feel that we need the special exception standards under 213-13, where it essentially also makes sure that the use is in keeping and will not be a detriment to the area. We think it'll function fine. During the site plan process, much attention was paid to make sure all of the aspects of the application will ensure that the use will be in harmony with the area. So the only other thing I want to mention are the other memos that we've received. We received the DOT memo that actually was the bond letter on January 8th. So we're all set with DOT. We've completed that process. So we're just awaiting, the final items that would have to be completed there, subject to a favorable review by this board. We're also in receipt of the planning memo that was mentioned, dated February 16th, in which no objections were stated by the planning division. So just in total, we feel that much attention has been paid through this process to make it a project that we think be a welcome addition to the area. We think through the site architecture, the site design, that it's in keeping with the area and will fit in to the existing fabric of the community. And with that, I will introduce the other folks who are here today, just in case there are any questions. We do have Zachary Chaplin from Stonefield Engineering, who did prepare the drawings, so it can answer any site plan specific questions. And then we also have a few representatives from 7-Eleven. We have Fahim Iman and Doug Bomzer, who are also working on ensuring that the operations at the site, will be in keeping with the area and will be a welcome part of the community. So thank you. And at this point, if there are any questions, I'll open it up to that.
Okay, I think the only question I had, this is going to be a 24/7 operation, I'm assuming?
Correct. It will be a 24/7 operation.
I have no other questions. Any other questions from the board? Okay. Brian, we have anybody to be heard on this or no? No?
Sorry, I was muted. No.
I seen you shaking your head.
There was someone registered though, Brian. They didn't.
They
Join-
did not show, they do not show up, and the record would still be left open if they
Yeah, I'm
needed
gonna
to.
keep it open. Okay.
Understood. And
So we're gonna close the hearing. We're gonna reserve decision. We're gonna keep the record open for 1 week for any further comments because we're doing these on Zoom.
Sure.
And get the decision in the mail.
okay, great. And if there are any comments that do come in, we'd welcome.
We'll
you know,
pass them
to-
along to you, of course.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the remainder of the agenda. The first item for your consideration is an extension of time from Santos Calderon. This property is located in Wyandanch, and it's requesting the first extension of time.
I'll make a motion to approve an extension of time on application 20-027 for a period of 6 months.
Second.
All in favor?
And can I just confirm, I can't see everyone there. Is Dolores still on the call?
Yeah, Dolores is here, but I'll ask you to unmute. Dolores,
Okay,
you're still
just
with us,
making
right?
sure for vote.
I'm asking her on mute, but I see you're still on.
Okay, thank you. It's the only person I can't see. Moving on to the next page of the agenda, P&P Motors remains reserved. Jimmy Jack remains reserved, waiting for new plans. Moving on to page 8, Carvana remains reserved. Suffolk OTB remains reserved pending fire marshal approval. And moving on to page 9, the first application for your consideration is 20-178 Leonides Balthazar Campos. This was the proposal for the use variance for the church in Amityville. If you recall last week or last meeting, there was a planning memo that was updated in response to correspondence from council on this matter, noting that the parking use is customary with a church and therefore variance number 2 is no longer needed. So we would ask the board to amend the call of the meeting, refer to that planning memo to eliminate variance number 2.
I will make a motion to amend application 2178 and eliminate the second variance for parking in a
Second.
residential zone. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And you'll recall that the first variance was also previously amended. It is now front yard setback from 30 to 16.6. That amendment took place at our last meeting. So if the board is satisfied, this would be approved as amended, should the board wish to do so.
Is Brian, is Dolores on?
Dolores is on. She's in the meeting. She's muted. I've asked her to unmute. I'm not sure if she's still having trouble or, but she is technically in. I could give her a ring again.
Let's, you know what,
Yeah.
can we hold this for another week then? I'd rather have Dolores okay with this. We good with
Why
that?
don't we move on to the remainder of the agenda and see if Brian can
Okay,
connect?
that's fine too. That
Okay.
works.
Okay. Moving on to the bottom of page 9, the application is 20-182. The property is located in West Babylon. Planning had recommended, if approved, it be approved with the condition that the front porch deck not be further enclosed.
John Ace,
Okay, I make a motion to approve application number
20-182.
20-182 with the condition that the porch not be further enclosed.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to page 10 of the agenda, both of these applications were taken together, 20-184 and 20-185, Dingle Bay Enterprises. They were heard together. The property is located in West Babylon. If approved, planning had recommended a number of covenants and restrictions, one of which is that the property would be owned, both properties would be owner occupied, and that was a concern of the neighbor who spoke at the public hearing. The properties in West Babylon, 20-184 and 20-185.
John Ace?
Want one motion or two? Do you want?
Two. Yeah, we gotta have two because it's two different applications.
Okay, I make a motion to approve application number 20184 with the condition for the property to be owner occupied,
Along with other covenants and restrictions.
along with other covenants and restrictions. Thank you, Pam.
Let's do covenants and restrictions and conditions on the planning memo dated January 29th. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Do I need to say that?
She's doing great.
Oh my gosh.
Second? Who's seconding that? All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead. You ready for the other one?
And I make a motion to approve application number 20-185 with the same covenants and restrictions
Same with the covenants and restrictions on the planning memo dated January.
on the planning memo dated February.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to page 11 of the agenda, the application is 20-179. It is located in North Babylon. Planning had recommended if the board wishes to approve, they impose a condition that the rear deck not be further enclosed. 2179 located in North Babylon.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve application 2179 with a condition on the face of the CO that the rear deck not be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, moving on.
The bottom of page 11 is 20-183, Budget Estates. This property is located in West Babylon. If approved, planning is recommending subject to covenants restrictions. CEQA has been completed on this. I will defer to Joe to confirm, but I believe it has been completed.
Yeah, it's completed. We just wanted, because it's near the parkway, we wanted to add in noise reducing construction techniques for the building of the home.
As another condition?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's 3 conditions?
There'll be covenants and restrictions, and then an additional condition for noise reducing construction methods.
That'll be a number 17 on that.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve application number 20-183 with the covenants and restrictions along with the conditions.
Very good.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to page 12 of the agenda, the application is 20-180 Saraha Property Management.
Raha.
If approved, it would be approved as amended as number 2 on this, variance number 2 had been removed from the call of the meeting when first heard, and also the number of parking spaces was amended. It's located in Farmingdale.
Right. Yeah, and we eliminated that fire sprinkler thing. We went over that with Kate. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve application 2180 as amended. That's it.
Second.
All in favor?
The bottom of page 12 has Dixon Gas Corporation. The application is 20-172. The board will recall there was some communication about this from the applicant requesting to amend the total area for retail space based on their
Oh, yeah. This is the one we were talking about.
presentation about the amount of active retail space in the proposed convenience store. In discussions with planning, they're recommending to leave all variances as advertised and not to move forward with that amendment. It will need a negative declaration of significance as it is located within 2,000 feet of another gas station. And there were some questions last time from one of the board members. Did the board want to consider any limitation on hours of operation? It's
Yeah.
located in Copeg, 20-172.
Okay, is any other comments on the hours and stuff like that, limiting the hours?
My comment is that all gas stations that are seeking relief before the town should be required to prepare for electric vehicles, and that should be part of our covenants and restrictions. Obviously, in 5 years, selling gasoline is unlikely to be a viable.
Right, you're right. Makes sense. I don't know.
That would be a major undertaking on this, to change that on the variance with this.
I mean,
No, I'm not going to play. It's a comment.
no, it's a good comment actually, because you're right. At some point in time, that's going to be an issue. So it's something we need to take back. Maybe Brian, you can take that back with Kate, and we can work through the.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Charging
you saw the Super
station at
Bowl,
a
the-
gas station would be totally different.
Yeah, in regards to this specific site, I think the parking variance, they already have a limited amount of parking. But Dave, I absolutely agree. You saw the Super Bowl. We got electric Cadillacs now. So we can definitely.
So it's just maybe our zoning consideration should look at that.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on new developments as well. I agree.
That's a good idea. That is.
Okay. Does anybody have any problems with the 24-hour operation? I don't. Honestly, I mean, I don't see them doing a lot of business 24 hours, but it's not as heavily traveled a road as others.
Right.
But it is in, there is residential across the street there from it, though.
There's about 4 or 5 houses of residential across the street from
Yeah,
there.
across the street right on Dixon there. Yeah. Going to the other way, going to the east, that is all commercial, and even to the north, there you get up to Home Depot and stuff like that. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
We say nothing, they have the right to do 24 hours, or we have to grant them the right to do 24 hours?
It is not a request. Yeah, I mean, unless we say nothing, because there's no restriction here as far as that goes. I mean, do we want to restrict it?
Can we give can we do like we do on the repair shops, give them 1 year as far as the time? Can we do something like that and see how it works out for a year?
Can we do that, Pam? What do you think?
You'd have to approve the area variances and then subject only the gas station use to
Right.
time period. It would just be difficult in the future to have it not be a gas station once it is one. I would just ask Brian, are there other instances where hours of operation have been limited, to be closed from, 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. or something like that?
I think what we've done in the past is, and I can double check the language we have, but I think we give ourselves an opportunity that if there is issues that were to arise, that we have the ability, I believe the planning board and potentially the zoning board, if you guys would like, would have the ability to limit hours of operation. So you could grant this, and if there was, I would have to refer back to the covenants that were granted with the planning board approval. I can pull that up and bring that to the next hearing on Thursday, and we can discuss it further with, whether it's you guys or them or planning board or the planning department, kind of have a mechanism where if there was issues to arise, if there were
We'd have the
complaints,
right to tell them that they could.
absolutely to limit hours.
Okay, well, yeah, if you research that for us, that'd be really great. And then, we can make a decision on this next week. It's not, critical.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to,
Some type of monitoring.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for tonight to have that ready, but I'll definitely bring that to the table next week.
No, that's fine. That's a good mechanism to put in there so that we have some recourse if it is a problem for the residents,
Absolutely.
Good. All right.
Brian, thank you. So we'll hold that. Brian, did we get Dolores on the call?
No, I was able to talk to her a number of times, but she seems to have some trouble with, she's having some trouble with accessing with the phone. So we tried, I think, I haven't done it on the phone myself. I think 6 is to unmute. I let her know that, but we didn't have any luck. So hopefully next week she's on the computer and we're able to, but she was listening. She was with me.
Okay, do we have any, were there any objections raised by her to the Campos application or any concerns?
We didn't talk. I was just trying to get her set up and we didn't have any luck. So we did not speak about Campos.
I think one of the things was about a left turn out of there and stuff. Did they agreed to putting a sign up about the left turn or through the planning, if I remember,
I
Pam?
believe Brian spoke with her though to share that planning did not recommend the one-way exit only. So her concern was heard, validated, and I believe Brian had a conversation sharing the consequences of that condition. Correct?
Yeah, I think both myself and the applicant provided the Cameron Engineering traffic analysis from when this was reviewed during the planning application. And I mentioned that, it wasn't considered to have a right turn or a right turn only onto Albany leaving the site. That was not discussed. Traffic engineer did not suggest that. Albany is a two-lane road with, there is traffic, but I think there'd be opportunity on a Sunday. There was no concerns brought up from traffic with, clogging the roads or having any sort of major backup for a church this size. And then also, if you were to do right turn only, those people they're gonna find their way back to Sunrise. So you're gonna, in my opinion, have people turning around on Albany further up or on Harrison doing U-turns on the residential blocks.
Yeah. If that's the way they want to go, you're right.
Yeah, they're not going to go up. I don't know the exact cut through, but you're going to end up with people cutting through to get over to, what is that, new highway over there and get back to Sunrise.
Okay. Anybody else have any concerns on this application?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to make a motion to approve application 2178 as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we get fire? Wait, just 1 second. I see something here about fire marshal. Do we get fire marshal on this, Pam?
We had correspondence from Nicole Blanda saying that the fire marshal would be addressed prior to the CO being issued because the work that needs to be done is going to be part of the construction. So they can't address it until
They can't address it until it's
until they complete the construction of the church.
Okay,
This
so it'll
one-
be pending. So the fire marshal report will be pending, for the CO to get it.
This one also needed an egg deck, the 178.
It needs a neg deck?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to adopt a negative declaration on application 2178.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Just reverse those in the record.
Mickey,
Understood.
how do we know how Dolores is voting on this?
We don't. Do we have enough people? We have enough. We have a quorum with the 4 people, right?
Right.
Yes.
She's absent for
Yes,
this.
I understand that, but
So-
is she going to abstain or?
Just absent.
I know she's not happy with this application.
She's absent, so there's no vote from her.
I thought she was here. Okay. So is she here? She's not here. Do I put her down as present or absent or?
No, we're going to have to see when she was no longer on the call. She was on at the beginning.
Well, who's this down here? 7891406.
6.
That's Dolores. And we spoke. She's been listening, but has not been able to unmute herself here.
All right, I'll put down that
able to speak through you, Brian?
Everyone voted aye.
Yeah, can you talk to her, Brian, at all?
I could bring her on. I could try my best here. And I also wanted to make a note that, yeah, Dave, we did that with apartments too. We had the guy when someone slipped or something. The guy was at the hospital and he was calling me, and we were going through. So I could bring Dolores in that way if you guys would like.
Well, she's off now, so.
Yeah.
Oh, because she's calling me.
Does she wish to vote with the?
All right, Dolores, you're on. You're on speaker, and
Brian?
yes, can you guys hear her?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Brian?
Dolores, can you hear the board?
Yeah, I hear them. Yes, I heard every word y'all said. I just couldn't say nothing.
Well,
I
good,
don't know
good
what
to have
happened.
you there.
Back on mute again.
Dolores, are you okay with this application on Albany Avenue for the church? I know you had some concerns about it.
Yeah, yes, I do. I really have a whole lot of concerns about it. But I'm going to abstain. You made a motion to it, Mickey. I abstain. I will not vote for it.
Okay, that's fine. As long as I just wanted to get your input on that then. That's fine.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
And for every other vote, you voted with the majority throughout the meeting, right?
Yes.
Dolores,
And I was here, so I heard y'all saying that I wasn't here. On the telephone. I heard every word you guys said.
Listen, Dolores, I was vouching for you.
That's right.
So, Dolores, just to confirm, were you voting with the majority for the other applications voted on tonight?
I did, yes.
Okay, excellent. And I think that's everything for tonight. But guys, I actually have the neighbor that wanted to speak on the 7-Eleven. He came in late, Lou. So I'm not sure. I can let him know that the record is still going to be open, and
yeah, I think let's have him do that in writing, because the applicant's no longer here and stuff, and we'll pass that on to the applicant if whatever his concerns may be. All right.
Absolutely.
We do have another page of the agenda, though.
Oh.
Dolores, stay on with us, all right?
Okay. So your correspondence tonight included the email from Nicole Belanda with the similar approvals for her application. The board is asked to accept the minutes of January 21st.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of January 21st, 2021.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And the board is asked to accept the findings of 20-151 Ocean Blue Innovations.
I'll make a motion to accept the findings of the application 2151.
The property is
Second.
located in Lindenhurst.
Right. Okay, yeah, so I'll make that motion. Second, John, second.
Yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Now you may adjourn.
One more thing, Columbo.
One more.
All right, thanks, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night, all.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. Good night, Mrs. Calabrese, wherever you are.